So one of the things I wanted to do with this new version of Random Review is give a little bit of love to some more misunderstood Transformers, be it good toys from bad series, or toys generally thought to be big gimmicky things for kids that actually turned out to be much better than most people gave them credit for. And that brings me to today's review. This is the Weaponizer version of Prime Bumblebee. Specifically, we're reviewing the version that came out second, which means it has all the appropriate striping on it, which is a much nicer version than they originally had, where it just looked pretty freaking plain, honestly. So as you can see, he is the kind of Camaro that they came up with for Transformers Prime. So he's got a lot of those sports car designs and lines to him, but he doesn't infringe on anyone's trademarks, and that's really what we were going for on this one. He's a nice-sized figure. Like, you don't normally get car Transformers this size, which is like one of the appeals to me, because this is like full toy car size thing, not just your standard old thing. And look, he rolls so well, it's actually causing my autofocus to mess up. So we'll stop rolling him because I'm having a little bit of fun. Because he's so big and heavy, those wheels actually work very well, even though they're just kind of pegged on. But, you know, that's gravity working for you. And we'd like gravity now, don't we? So as you can see, yeah, all yellow with a lot of racing stripes painted on, tons in the front. You can also see the grille and a few of the lights down here done up in black, but we do have some translucent yellow for those headlights in the front. A little bit of gray also gives us our engine block, translucent blue plastic for the windshield on front, but in the back, all painted and solid plastic. You can also see the racing stripes go down the trunk, and the tail lights have been done in red. There's some molding for exhaust and license plate, though nothing is there, so, you know, hit up repro labels if you really feel like it. A lot of the little details are there, door handles and such. No window on the side. Like, this was like the big distraction of the vehicle mode, because you can see all the bits of the robot folded up in there. It's a little bit visually distracting. But overall, I like the look of the vehicle mode. It's nice. It's definitely Prime Bumblebee. And it looks cool. Like, I actually kind of prefer this to just being a Camaro, because this has a little bit of, I don't know, futuristic jazz to it. Not that it is jazz, because it's a completely different sports car. I'm shutting up now. One thing I will point out, which is a little weird anytime I notice it, different shade of yellow plastic here. Just in this one portion of the vehicle mode, and it's kind of distracting once you notice it. Typically, Transformers are made in different types of plastic. There's some stuff that's a little bit more tolerable to heavy friction, lots of hinge usage, that kind of thing. Typically, ball joint sockets are made of it. This is unpaintable plastic, which is why the stripe kind of misses the gap here. So that's a little bit disappointing, but you know what? It's not terrible. Like, at the least, like, go look up the first variant of this mold where they, like, forgot half the stripes, and yeah, you'll take a little gap there if it just means having a better toy. For a little bit of playability, if you want, the doors for transformation do open in a natural way, even though it's nothing but robot junk on the inside. Or if you want a little bit of, sorry, this is a little bit tricky to peg in. That one I will mention. It's a little bit finicky about where it goes. Ah, it's all falling apart on me. Never mind. You get the idea. On the rear, there is a peg hole, which can fit his blaster. So he can kind of, you know, it's pretty dinky for weaponry. So we can fix that. As you'll notice, there are panels here that are conspicuously popping up all on their own. If I hit the engine block, the headlights flash and those fly into existence, spinning death at anything flying above Bumblebee in vehicle mode. That is a really neat gimmick. Like, I like, there's so much action going on there. I really dig it. And the best part, reset just by pushing on that lever in the front, which is a little bit visually distracting, but you know what? It makes for a really neat little trick. I love that. So, but will I love it in robot mode? There's the question. So we're going to start by folding out the doors as such. And there's this big piece of shell that we need to disengage from the top. Pegs in all over this toy, kind of holds things together. So that needs to come off. And that, come on, little bit there. There we go. And come on, come off. There we go. There we go. That's disengaged. Now we're free to transform everything else. First off, this comes off and those go out because those will be our arms. But first, we will transform the legs like so. Fold up. Get all this folded up and out of the way for a bit here. Now. Connect that right there. The arms will tab into the pegs of the wheels, which is kind of clever engineering. The hands are down here, and to get to them, we need to, well, first we need, stuck. Fold those out, and then fold this piece of kibble to the other side of the arm, which gives us our hand as such. And we will repeat on the other side, because I know I didn't do that too clearly, so we'll try to do something a little bit better there. And over like that. It's nice and smooth once you actually do it correctly. The head, now, you can fold into position. And then for the kibble, it all kind of latches into the back right there. There's a little bit of a weird angle to where the door wings are going to sit. Not a whole lot you can do about that. It's just going to be there. But, more importantly, now it's all together. And there is our Prime Bumblebee in robot mode. And you know what? Like, this is like a really cool robot mode for me. Like, I really dig Bumblebee here. And for many reasons. First off, this is really like Prime Bumblebee. Like, as far as I'm concerned, this is like the closest a toy ever came to replicating his look properly. And I'll replicate it a little bit more because I did notice a couple things. There we go. There. I would have looked stupid. But that is such a nice figure. You'll notice he doesn't have a lot of the problems that other Bumblebee figures have. He doesn't have this giant gorilla barrel chest, huge wide shoulder thing going on. He doesn't have big bulk of his car parts hanging off around his legs. He's well proportioned. He's very concise. You know, his transformation's clean. You know, the backpack, yeah, he's a lot of shell, but it all folds up very cleverly. Like, this is like Vehicon level of, oh, that's kind of clever to do with all that paneling. I really, really thought this was like the best looking Bumblebee we got. I'll give you a shot of the head because that's what I do to get thumbnails for these videos. You can see, yeah, it's definitely Prime Bumblebee. What I like about this one is the eyes are so big that they light pipe easily. Now, on the back of the head, it's a pretty small port to let light in for the effect. But it's just the right shade of blue plastic. It barely needs any light to actually get the color out. So he doesn't look dead like a lot of these, like a lot of light piping ends up being. I hate that about light piping. Going through some of the details, we have these faux wheels in the shoulders. And you can see the forearm, kind of I will give you this. It's a little bit of a mess because it's, it's like 3 panels folded together, but it does a decent enough job as an arm. The midsection has some nice new detailing, and it does give you a little bit of black to break up all the yellow, so that's good. Again, some black around the inside of the thighs, as well as a little bit on the knees. There's just enough all the way around to just kind of break things up and keep it visually interesting. All gray feet with fake wheels molded in. There is a slight slant to them, so he can stand split-legged with his legs a little bit out, more natural stance, and still stay flat-footed, which I always dig. Now, articulation-wise, he doesn't do too bad. He's got a fully ball-jointed neck, which can look up to a pretty good degree. Shoulders end up being universal thanks to two joints working together. Bicep swivel as well as a decent elbow, a little bit beyond 90 degrees. There's no waist articulation because of the transformation, but he does get universal hips that do ratchet. He gets very sturdy ratcheted knees as well as a thigh rotation. No ankle tilt since he's already kind of doing the ankle bend. So it's not the best of articulation that Prime Bumblebee ever got. Maybe the first edition beats him out in that regard, but man, it works. Like, it all like comes together. He creates like a nice posable figure. You know, there's not much missing from it. It's actually extremely well done. You know, given the fact that there's this big honking gimmick in it, everything still works as an action figure, which is the part where I still like gimmicks. Well, except I could use that to hold on a little bit tighter, but beyond that... Yeah, I'm looking. Did I forget a peg? I don't believe I did. It's just a little bit loose. Okay, so we'll knock a point off for that. We will, however, still enjoy his gimmick. Now we press down on the head to activate. And now the Gatling guns fly forward. And yeah, you still get the light effects and everything. And this is where I love these kind of gimmicks. There's a lot going on. There's some good motion to it. There's some lights in the right positions. You can reset it in a neat little way. And it's unintrusive. It's all just using the existing bulk instead of creating something brand new. It works so well. Like, I love the Weaponizer gimmicks for this. Oh, and we still have his little blaster, which he can hold, but why when he does have a hole on his forearm to mount it like he does in the show, though it does stick out a little bit far. But you know, you can do what you want with it. That's the point of a toy. Play with it. Use your imagination. And here's the thing. Here's the thing about Weaponizers, and I'll even like defend the Optimus Prime. Like, yeah, he's got, you know, Bumblebee comes off a lot cleaner, but that Prime's gimmick is so fun. Like, just all the motion going into it. Now, here's the thing. This thing was a $30 toy when it was released, and it was accused because it had these big spinny light-up gimmickies. And yeah, he does have some like cheaper construction. I will give you that. There's some hollow, you know, there are some hollow parts on the back of the bicep in particular, but still, you can see a bunch of solid parts to him. Like, he's not doing too shabby. He's just kind of written off by a lot of people as, well, he's just a big kid's toy, like a big gimmicky toy. He was $30 at retail. We used to get these for $30. Now, granted, Red Alert here is huge and much more solid, but he comes with similar gimmicks, and actually his articulation is worse than Bumblebee's. You know, aside from the fact Bumblebee is clearly bigger. And, you know, there are bigger ultra-class toys we got back in the mid-2000s, but, you know, not by much. You know, Bumblebee is just, like, not really slacking on any terms here. I mean, he's one of the few toys that, like, still matches up size-wise to the figures that ran for the same price, you know, 10 years before. So it was like a really, really solid toy. And I saw a lot of people just kind of disparage it because it's a gimmicky kid's toy. Well, they're all kids' toys. But this one, I think, got a bad rap. The Weaponizers in general are actually pretty good toys. Like, I know a lot of people who passed up on them, and I'm sorry, you passed up one of the best Bumblebees Prime released, if not the best. Like, I will pick this up and play with it before the first edition. It's that good, guys. So he deserves a lot more love. If only for how fun he is. I just still don't get tired of that.